This is Dr. Tanya Jenkins, Executive Director at Quest Charter Academy, and it's April 13th, 2020, and this is your weekly update for Quest Charter Academy. This week we're going to be covering some updates, going over the newly updated Friday schedule, providing a few reminders, and then answering a few of the reflection questions that have been coming my way by students through way of teachers and then through principals. So we have quite a bit to cover today, but we want to keep you updated with the newest information for your students' e-learning. Tech distribution is completed, and we have verified that all devices have been delivered. And if there's anything still missing for you as far as Chromebooks, chargers, then again, please let your principals know, and they will get that information out to us because we believe that we've completed the process. We are still in the e-learning mode through April 30th. That's as far as we've been given information about through April 30th. So students should be settling in and getting used to going into their e-learning classrooms. And again, if you're having any challenges with that with your students, please let your principals know about that. Today was our Teacher Institute, and so you know there were no classes, but classes resume again tomorrow. So please make sure that you are supporting your students with having them ready to start their classes, charge their devices, and be ready to start at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Our calendar, again, has not changed, so please take a look at that calendar. You can find our yearly calendar online and post that so students are very clear about upcoming days for school. I just wanted to remind parents with students with IEPs that those meetings are scheduled. Notices are still going out, and those will occur virtually, and your students should not miss getting those needs met. We do realize that we still have families that need those jetpacks for the Wi-Fi at home. We are waiting for a new delivery to come in, but we will be able to get the first round of those out this Friday. So we will have members of the elite team or clerical contacting you to let you know that those jetpacks will be coming your way this Friday. So please look for, this Thursday. I have on there delivered on Friday, but we will have them on Thursday. So if you are able to and they give you a call, you can get them as early as Thursday. Otherwise, Friday will be that first round of distribution for those needed jetpacks. If we missed anyone that needs them, again, please email your principals and let them know, and we will make sure that's taken care of. One of the things that we need to go over this week is the Friday schedule update. This is very important, parents, that you take time out with your students to help them understand that Fridays are a little bit different. We're settled in, according to our teachers today, with the Monday through Thursday, understanding how those schedules work from 8:30 to 9:30, but Fridays, again, are different. So on the screen here, you see that if your student at the middle school has Spanish, then they start their day on Friday with their Spanish teachers, 8:30 to 9:30. If there are students that need their resource special education teachers, then they should be meeting with those teachers at 8:30 on Friday. And then we're also making sure that our credit recovery students are not falling behind. So you can see again on the screen that Mr. Marshall from the Urban League will be working with those students that need math support. Again, anybody that needs math support should be logging on, and students will receive that log-on information for entering Mr. Marshall's classes from 8:30 to 9:30 on Friday. Ms. Moore will be handling all other content area, credit recovery, subject matter on Fridays from 8:30 to 9:30. And again, those classrooms are set up and ready to go for this Friday. So families, please make sure you talk with your students. Counselors are busy notifying students that they should be ready to log in and start their credit recovery classes up again. If your student needs other tutoring outside of the credit recovery tutoring or the math support from Mr. Marshall, then their regular division teachers will be giving that support, and again, you should check with your child's teacher as to whether or not they can sign up for that special tutoring from 8:30 to 9:30. You can also see that we have elite staff support. All of those officers have caseloads of students that they help cover to make sure they're having success, and they will also be having their classroom time from 8:30 to 9:30. So there's lots of different things going on from 8:30 to 9:30 on Fridays. If you see anything there that fits your students, then make sure that you're asking them about that. And if they have two things that fit the bill for them, then you need to work with your child, because the counselors and the teachers are notifying them where they should be on Fridays. Friday is not a free day, and we are taking attendance and expecting students to still participate on Fridays. Our mentoring time is very important to us. That's our time that we get to talk one-on-one with your student to see where they're needing support, where we can help them with emotional supports, if they need any type of social emotional learning supports, if they need just to talk about a certain class that they're struggling in. That's the time for the mentoring teachers to be able to have that Google Hangout conversation with them. So they should have received by now their specific time from their teacher. So please, again, ask your child, have you talked with your mentoring teacher, and do you know what your mentoring time is for Friday, so they do not miss that time. That's a very special time. That's one-on-one attention, and we want to make sure all parents understand that that time is still happening. Our credit recovery, again, is happening with Ms. Moore, and she, again, will notify students which students she wants at the 8:30 time and which students she wants at the 9:30 time, so that there's not too many students that she has to help at one time. So again, parents, ask your counselors, ask your students, are they clear about where they're supposed to be to get this credit recovery courses completed? You've paid money for your child to take these classes, and we want to ensure you that we are dedicated to supporting that completion. From 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, we need to have that counselor time, and this is especially important for our seniors. So seniors, you should be receiving something from your counselors as to what the sessions will be on Fridays. Parents, again, please make sure that you stay connected and have your students stay connected to this counselors sessions on Fridays. This is where they will get all their information around questions that you've been asking around prom, graduation. All those kinds of things will come through the counselor sessions at 11 o'clock on Friday. Then we still have our lunch locked in at the same regular time from 12 to 12:30, and then we finish off the day on Friday from 12:30 to 1:30 with students being able to have time to do things that maybe they didn't get to during their class time, or when they were offline, such as emailing their teachers about concerns or questions about lessons, completing any kind of homework. We have expectations by grade level, and your students know what those are. We'll get that posted for you by grade level, the grade level expectation sheet, and you'll be able to see that a fifth grader has so many AR points that they need to read, as does a senior. So all students have that grade level expectation sheet that still needs to be completed to complete and finish out their year. So parents, please take a look at that expectation end of the year sheet and see where your child, have them talk with you about where they fit in with those things, because those journals, those books, all of those things need to be caught up. Even their time for doing volunteerism, those are still things that we are expecting them to have completed, and we know that we have to look at it differently. But parents, you'll love this. Students can count things that they do around the house as volunteering time. So if they are helping to start to cut yards or clean out the refrigerator or do things that take time, they can actually log that time and count it toward some of their service hours. And again, counselors will go over that with students and help them be clear about filling out their logs and getting those things in. But that's the 12:30 to 1:30 time. Every Friday, we're giving students that time to be able to play catch up and do things that they can't do during their regular class session time. Also, that credit recovery time down at the bottom of the page there is for freshmen all the way up to seniors. We've included time throughout the day, again on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Your child is expected to do 2 hours for 2 days. So that's a total of 4 hours of credit recovery that must be completed every week. If we cannot show that students have done that, they have not met their expectations for the week. So please talk with them and make sure that we don't want to hear that they did not finish their coursework. Their logging in to their classes helps to verify that they were there for 2 hours, 2 days, and we have lots of different available times. Counselors are sending that information out today so that students can select which 2 days they want to commit to finish up their credit recovery requirements. I placed a few reminders here, again, just to make sure that if you missed it, these are things that have either happened or will happen. And most of these things, again, that I want to point out are things that should have already happened, and you just need to be reminded of it if you missed it. I've given you, again, the time frame so that you know exactly when students should be online. You've got the special schedule Friday that we just went over and the credit recovery schedule. Also, we need you to talk with your students about proper etiquette. We had some students coming to class in garments that are not suitable. I'll say it that way, meaning that they should not be coming to class in pajamas. They should not be coming to class. If they couldn't come to school that way, they should not be coming to class that way. So please make sure you have a conversation with your students about how they look when they come on camera, making sure that they are in a space where people cannot run behind them or interrupt them while they are trying to study and have class. Those classroom expectations, again, need to be emphasized from you so that your child understands the importance of those things that are there. And then again, what I wanted to mention at the last bullet there, paper packets that were returned to us, those did go back out today. So we had the elite staff and support family liaisons out delivering those again if we had wrong addresses for whatever reason. Those materials are expected to be completed and returned. So again, you want to talk with your students and make sure that they have received those materials, they have completed those materials, and if they have not, that your principals are aware of that so that we can see what happened to your particular materials. There's a couple of reflection questions that have been being put out, and we wanted to calm the waters a little bit there. And I've posted some of those questions here for you. Such things as, will there be prom? One of the things that we're not throwing the towel in just yet because our prom is not set to happen until May. So right now we just know that we are out through the 30th. So we will not be making predictions on that. We will just say that we are in a hold pattern right now and hopeful that we'll still be able to have some type of a prom for students, but we'll know that here in the next few weeks. How does e-learning affect graduation? It doesn't affect graduation if students continue to show up, continue to do the work that is expected of them, and do it at the caliber that you know that your child can produce. Then teachers will be looking at that work and being determined, those determinations will be made by administration and teachers based off of the work that your students are submitting. So we are starting to look at what it would look like for us to have a virtual graduation. So we are just still exploring what that's going to look like and what might happen should we still need to still be out of school in May. So we will have more information for you as we get more information on these particular topics. Is not being in the classroom affecting my grade? Right now, we have not been given direction by the state as to all of these types of questions, but what I can say to you as the Executive Director of Quest Charter Academy is that we have put together a very viable plan, and the expectation is that families are getting on board with coming to classes, participating, submitting work that is of the caliber for that grade. So yes, students need to be coming to class. They need to make every effort to follow the plan that is being implemented. And if there are very specific reasons why they cannot, again, those are things that you need to be discussing with your student's principal so that we are well aware and that it's not just students doing their own thing, but that we all have an understanding of what's happening and what we can do to help resolve any issues that may be affecting the family. What about your orders from Jostens? We would say that you made the order, you should be fulfilling that order and still taking care of any obligations that you have on that end. And this last one came to us from a couple of concerned students about what if they haven't taken or retaken the SAT or the ACT that they know they need to get scores up. One of the things that we're saying, and it was in one of my earlier updates, was that the state has suspended all retaking of state assessments, but we also put into your students' packets when we mailed things out, we put a practice SAT packet into your students' mailing, and we will be looking at that and scoring that. So please help students understand that is not something to take lightly. They need to really take a look at that and do well on that and then get that resubmitted so that we can take a look at what they know. This is still about the I can statements for grade levels and students to be able to show that they have mastered certain skill sets, and they can only do that if they are completing the things, the activities and lessons and assignments, projects that are being provided for them during this time. Again, I say to you that we know that this is a team effort. No one grade level can do this. Not one teacher can do all the work. We have to work together as a community. So parents, you are truly needed in this time to be able to help students understand the importance of taking their daily work seriously. If you are still having challenges, your first line for me would be to have you contact your student's teacher. They can then get that to the right staff members, whether that's administration or myself, so that we can get your questions and concerns answered quickly. If you need further support, please feel free to email your principals directly. And together we know that as a community of Quest, we will continue to strive to be our absolute best. Have a great week, and we'll be in touch soon.